Am I on? You are on.
You need that crowd shot.
Where's my shoes?
Stand by.
Oh, I'm gonna stomp these shoes out. Jeanette,
Do you need help with these stairs?
I need my other shoes.
Well, why don't you head up and I'll help.
Come on, I'm gonna play a duet with you.
What shoes do you
Yes,
want?
I am. I want to play with the balls.
Coming up, a lady who needs really no major announcement. How about a nice warm welcome for Ms. Dr. Dorothy Dunnigan, please.
Oh, hey, welcome vinyl community and YouTubers from around the world. That was Miss Dorothy Donegan in 1995 live at the Newport Jazz Festival where she was the featured artist. Let's go back a little bit further back and check her out when she was just 20 years old. She was 73 there at the Newport Jazz Festival and would die of cancer just 3 years later. Greatest jazz pianist that nobody's ever heard of. Why the heck is that? Well, let's learn a little bit about her. She was born in 1922. She grew up in the Chicago area, started playing clubs as a teenager. She was a protege of Art Tatum. This is one of the fascinating parts of the story to me. Art Tatum, probably one of the greatest pianists that ever lived, jazz pianists, and when you're one of the best, all the up-and-comers want to try you out and see if they can outplay you. He'd tell them, you try my girl over here, and if you can take her, then maybe I'll give you a try. I never heard that anybody got past Dorothy, so it made it a little easier. Other thing Art Tatum said about Dorothy, said she's the only female pianist who made him feel like practicing. So what's the reason that it took so long into the late 80s before she became well-known, successful, and famous? Well, she was a club entertainer. She was a virtuoso, classically trained pianist. So, like Nina Simone, Sarah Vaughan, didn't matter how good you could play the piano, you had to be a girl singer and do that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you didn't have any work. She loved the club scene. She loved interacting with the crowd. She probably grew up maybe watching a little bit of Fats Waller. You know, he was one of the great stride pianists way back when, and he liked playing a fool for the crowd and having a good time, and he was famous for it, but people still took him serious. Well, if a girl player did that, she couldn't be one of the best. It took a while for that to come out to the general public. She is on the Ed Sullivan Show, 1965. She was 33 years old here. A lot of albums, 40-some entries in Discogs. She started, of course, on 78s and in early 10 inches. I have her third album here from 1959, Live. This is on a real early Capitol Records, not Columbia. Real heavy record. With the trio. Here's the tunes. After You've Gone, Body and Soul, Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey, It's All Right With Me, Little White Lies, How High the Moon, Caravan, It Had to Be You, Louise, Lullaby of the Leaves, Someday Sweetheart, Jelly Roll Morton piece there, and Fine and Dandy. The next album I have, Dorothy Donegan from 1976. This is a European issue. Put it up there. You can check out what the tune list is. These records are all great. Now, you can find her records for inexpensive amount, but in good condition, they're hard to find, especially the early ones. Now, here from 1980, she's starting to get a little more known. Dorothy Donegan Making Whoopee. The track list there. This is on the Black and Blue label, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe the only record I have on the Black and Blue label. So you can get these records for $5, $6, $7, $8. This next album, Dorothy Donegan at the Embers. Now, my friend Jacob over at Dallas Open Micer, he got this record for $1 out of a dollar bin. He didn't know what it was. It was just a blind buy. He thought it looked interesting. And he got another one also, and he showed that. Now, I tried to order this record. I did have it on order, and then something fell through, and the guy never sent it to me. I've seen them on the Discogs for $1, but that's for beat copies. If you want a really nice, clean copy, you probably have to pay $30, $40 for it. But she's got 13 albums listed on Tidal, so I don't have to go find all these records like I used to. I can listen to them and enjoy them that way. But she's going to play here Sweet Georgia Brown. Well, what's the deal with that tune? Oh, in the early 50s, my dad took me to the drive-in. We saw the movie The Harlem Globetrotters. Now, as you all know, before the game starts, when they're throwing the ball around in their little group warm-up, they do it to Sweet Georgia Brown. I think they're still doing it to the same tune. That's a tune from the 1920s, because seeing that movie in the Harlem Globetrotters, of course, I wanted to be Goose Tatum, shoot backwards over my head. and I've always loved Sweet Georgia Brown. Hey, did you hear that little bit there just before I cut it off? A couple bars of fascinating rhythm thrown in there. That's the kind of stuff she did all the time. Then right back to Sweet Georgia Brown. I say, keep 'em spinning, and let's see you all down the trail.
Happy trails to you until